This is Lewis Hart for Boxing Social in association with Empire Fight Still Forged Irish Stout. Delighted to be joined with the big man, Johnny Fisher, fresh from America and fresh into a massive fight, July 6th, Alen Babic at the CopperBox. Johnny, how's that? How is everything now? Now it's a massive fight for yourself.
I'm good, Lewis. Good to speak to you, mate. A massive fight, but nothing changes. I always prepare 110%. Just got to do the same and keep adding and learning as I go, which I've been doing in my career. So this is the next step.
Absolutely. I suppose just before we sort of get into the fight, obviously at the CopperBox, and I think when I first heard it being at the CopperBox, there's only one tagline, mate. It's got to be the Copper Bosch, mate.
It's the Copper Boss, mate. It's going to be the Copper Boss. We've got the fans T-shirts for fight nights. We're going to get 2,000 of them made. So not everyone there is going to be able to get one. So if you want one, everyone who comes to the fight, first come, first served, gets a Copper Boss T-shirt. So
Yeah.
looking forward to giving out as many of them as I can. Obviously, we're probably going to have about 4,000 or 5,000 of my fans there, and then all the undercard as well. But we might even try and get some more. But anyone who's coming and get a Copper Boss T-shirt, Bosh.
Sounds good, mate. Sounds good. And obviously, this fight, Alen Babic, it's a significant step up in the career. You know, coming off the back of the Harry Armstrong win and the win in Vegas. How exciting is it to fight someone like Babic, who we know his pedigree in the UK, we know what he's capable of, and this being a significant step up for yourself.
Well, I think it's also the fact that people, as you said, in England know who Babic is. He's been in some exciting fights. Um, I know Alan myself. We boxed on the same card on fight camp in my third fight, and we get on. But this is business. This is a fight, and he's going to bring it, and I've got to bring it. I'm expecting the toughest fight of my career so far.
Is there an excitement in that factor for yourself where you know you sort of, I suppose you know what Alan brings, you know he brings war, and you know you can bring war as well, so it makes for an exciting fight.
It's an exciting fight. I'm always in exciting fights anyway, but I think, yeah, I know that I'm going to have to be on my game. I think that of every opponent, everyone I fight, but um, I just think it's great for the fans. This fight, they're gonna really really enjoy it, and it's going to be a good build up, and it's going to be a great night as well.
And with someone like Babic, and for every fight you have, you know, the aim for you is always to knock somebody out. Do you feel like, obviously, now with the step ups coming, it's more preparing yourself that you know it is sort of, you may get wet in certain fights, you know that it may get tough, especially with someone like Babic who has the pressure that he does?
Yeah, if you're not going to be a boxer, a heavyweight boxer, and not get hit at any points. I've been at Sparring. I've been in my fights as well. Armstrong caught me with some, but Babic is also known, obviously, as being someone who comes to win and try and gets a knockout. So bring it on. I'm ready. I'm ready to go.
And why did you feel like now was the time for that significant step up, I guess?
Uh, well, I've had 11 fights now. We're in a position now where we want to start headlining shows, and it's just the right time, Lewis. The right time. 12 fights in now. If I want to go on to where I want to go to maybe one day challenge for a British title or an English title, these are the sort of people that you've got to be fighting and beating. So I'm ready to go.
And this fight obviously being the main event, and we know how much we know how much support you bring, and we know how much tickets you sell. Do you feel like now, with the credible wins that you're becoming, let's say, when it comes to the fans and people, you're becoming more than just a ticket seller, which is what I suppose everyone wants to be.
Yeah, definitely. Listen, I'm really grateful for the tickets that I sell. It's an honour and a privilege that people, especially in these economic times, that can come out and spend their hard-earned money, whether that's a £40 ticket or a £500 ticket. There are people that come and support me, but we try and make it a great day out for everyone. It's not just about the fight; it's the build up to the fight. People get a whole day out, and afterwards as well. Yeah, I'm just really grateful to have the support. But as you said, it's not just about doing that. It's about going somewhere with the career, and all the people that have followed me from the beginning. This is a nice step up for them to come and watch, and I'm going to be in a tough fight.
And with it being at the CopperBox as well, that isn't really too far from Essex, so it's almost like home territory for you, I guess.
20 minutes down the road. If you've got no traffic on the old A12 or A13, you get down there and yeah, go up to Stratford on the train on the Elizabeth line. I'm sure the Romford Bull Army Generals will be organising a little pub day or something, or a little bar crawl. So I know there's the Bat and Ball at Stratford, but I think we're trying to do something at the Junction before in Upminster, or a different venue. But the Junction in Upminster have been supporting my career. They've it's right next to the station. It's on the C2C line, so that might be a problem. But they can get off
Yeah.
at West Ham and then go over to Stratford. So not an issue at all. It's exciting. All of this is what we're in boxing for fights like this. When I started my career, these are memories I'm going to look back on in 20, 30, 40 years' time with my family. And yeah, we will know that we've given people good days out as well.
And I suppose when it comes to making memories, there can't be many better than the past few camps you've had. Obviously, spending a large proportion of your last camp in Vegas with Ismail Salas. Obviously, you know your trainer at home is Mark Tibbs.
Yeah.
And then spending a little bit of a proportion for this camp, getting preparing Filip Hrgovic and Daniel Dubois. Just I suppose having that experience in America before we get on sort of the train out there. What was that like to have that experience sort of in America?
Oh, it's brilliant. I've been to Vegas, as you know, three
Yeah,
or
of
four
course, yeah,
times before. But to be actually out there and knowing I've got to prepare for a fight, that was great. I had great sparring with Michael Hunter. Unfortunately, got cut in that spar on the top of my nose, so we had to have a couple of weeks off. But just being around the Cubans and learning the correct way to throw punches, the correct footwork, it's mentally draining, it's mentally sapping, but it can ingrain certain characteristics into you. And it was great to have Mark then come out. We had a new lease of life. And yeah, just to be in that environment, went to top ranked gym as well. That was brilliant. And as you said, Hrgovic, I've been sparring for a couple of weeks. I sparred him here once, and then for a couple of weeks over in Texas with Ronnie Shields, who's trained some of the best in the world. Mike Tyson, Holyfield, Jamal Charlo. The list goes on. It's been brilliant, and yeah, the sparring with Hrgovic was perfect timing, really. So it's all looking good. And then I got back from Hrgovic's sparring, and then on the phone was Zhang's manager, Mills
okay.
Lane's son, Tommy Lane, and that was just probably a bit too far because we knew he was coming into this fight, and it's not really stylistically similar. But I'd love to go out and spar Zhang one day as well.
Yeah. And when you've had all these Vegas camps and these America camps, do you feel, you notice how much better you get from although, the Salas camp was only sort of a couple of weeks and Hervey was a couple of weeks. Do you feel like you notice yourself with a wealth of experience in such a short time from that?
Yeah, definitely not just the boxing side of it, but it just builds you as a man as well. Being away from home,
Yeah.
being away from your comforts, nothing to do other than sit in your room and just eat when you can and go for walks in Texas. It's very open. It's
Yeah.
lovely. The food's great, but there's not much to do there, especially when you're in a training camp mode. You don't want to be going out too late and stuff like that. So it just builds you. I was in Vegas actually for 5 or 6 weeks. I was just in there just
Yeah.
before the New Year's celebration. So it's just another thing where you can look back and say, look, I've been to America. I've trained there for a fight, and I've won a fight in the Las Vegas Cosmopolitan of Las Vegas. So yeah, it just builds you as a character, not just a boxer.
And being around Filip Hrgovic, who's world heavyweight contender, and ideally fighting for a heavyweight world title in his next fight, what was it like being around him and I suppose looking forward to his fight against Dubois?
Very good to be around him. He's quite a stern character to start with. Then you break him down, you see him more regularly, and I quite like that in a way. It's quite a genuine way to be. He's not just trying to be your mate straight away. He's getting on with the job. He's getting on with business, and sparring is. He says he only ever spars hard, and it was me and him just
Yeah,
sparring our own for the first 3 or 4 spars. And he says there's no easy sparring. It's all hard, and that's probably some of the hardest sparring I've ever had in my life. And it's made me better. And he invited me over to Texas, obviously, and it's been brilliant for me. I've seen myself develop even over them 2 weeks of sparring him, and he's looking in unbelievable condition and unbelievable shape, and he can do a bit of everything, Hrgovic, and he's got a very, very good boxing brain. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that fight with Dubois because he's a heavy customer as well.
definitely. Just moving on, I'd be silly not to ask you about the past weekend antics with Tyson Fury and Oleksandr
Yeah,
Usyk. Oleksandr Usyk holding all the marbles now in the heavyweight division. You spent a proportion of time with Tyson Fury. I believe it was in the lead up to Wilder 3. Am I right in saying that?
yeah, yeah. That
And
was it.
suppose seeing that result on Saturday night, what did you make of the fight? I guess.
I thought it was a fantastic high level fight. I thought Fury, the first 1, 2, 3 rounds were just you could score it either way. But then I thought Fury was taking control as it went to round 6, round 7, and then I thought Usyk was going to maybe get stopped himself because he was landing some vicious uppercuts and the bigger man was starting to dominate. But from somewhere, he just turned it around and he's unbelievable, Usyk, absolutely unbelievable. And sure, Fury can come again. It's not as if he's been in there and been battered from pillar to post. It was a very close
Yeah.
fight, and I don't think you could argue either way. If it was a draw, if it was 1 or 2 to Usyk, it was 1 or 2 to Fury. It was a very, very close fight. But what a victory for Usyk. Dedicates his whole life, and just brilliant. Just a brilliant night of boxing. Even the co-main or the chief support in Bradis and Opataya, that was a great fight. What a tough man that Bradis is.
Yeah. Do you think that there are strong claims for Oleksandr Usyk to suppose be an all-time great when it comes to heavyweights and cruiserweights when you put them all together?
Well, if you become undisputed cruiserweight champion and undisputed heavyweight champion, that's an unbelievable achievement. And he's definitely cemented himself now. If I was Usyk, I would think about if I'm, what was he, 36, 37 years old?
Yeah.
It won't get much better than what he's already done. So if he wanted to retire, you couldn't really moan at him.
Absolutely. I suppose just before we do close this off, a typical question, but what happens on July 6th against Alen Babic with Johnny Fisher?
The fans get an unbelievably exciting fight, an exciting build up, but I'm going in there to win. And that's all that matters to me. It's just another fight. Bosh.
Perfect. Johnny, thank you for taking time to speak to me. Really appreciate it. All the best on July 6th against Alen Babic.
Cheers, Rich.
Top
Thanks,
man.
mate.